2002 Yamaha Banshee, two-stroke in all its glory. You know, on a previous vid, I showed you guys how to remove one of the stubborn chain sliders, the upper chain sliders, or actually the main chain slider. And you know, we've got that out. We got everything cleaned up in here. Now, what I wanted to share with you was one of my techniques. It's 60 degrees in my garage. It's about 7 degrees outside Fahrenheit. So what I did was I brought the main chain slider in the house overnight, and then prior to installation, what I did was, to make it easier, I let it sit in the bath of semi-hot water. Not super hot, but just kind of semi-hot. And I figured that's going to warm up the plastic a little bit and make it easier for me to install this. You know, when you heat up plastic, it makes it a little more malleable and a little easier to bend. When it's cold out, it's definitely a little bit harder. So this was my method of doing it. So, like I said, this is one of the up racing chain sliders. It's actually a kit that I got over here. Let that sit for another minute or two. So you can see the kit. Here's the part number 1064. It's the Yamaha Banshee complete pack, made in USA. Nice. So you know they got that good quality, good quality control. There's the old unit that we took off earlier in the vid. So you can remember, we were able to get this off without removing the swing arm. So that was kind of nice. And the up racing swing arm slider, as you can see, it's got the slot already cut in there, and there's a bolt that you bolt in, and it clamps it all together. So, all right, let's get on with it. I'm gonna see how easy this goes on. Now remember, this spot right, this little notch right here, this little leg, goes on top of the swing arm. All right, so when the swing arm is going up and down, it's keeping the chain tension where it should be. Okay. See how easy this goes on. It's still a little, the plastic's still a little hard, but as you can see, I'm just trying not to distort it. You know what I mean? So by warming up the plastic, it makes the nylon just a little easier to work with. You know, when it's hard, I don't want to open this up and then all of a sudden have it crack. You know, if this cracks, I mean, well, you know, that's not good. So let's see if we can get this bad boy on here. I'm almost wondering if I should have the chain off. Let's see what we can do. Yeah, it doesn't look like it looks like I'm gonna have to take this chain off. I was hoping I was gonna be able to pop that on there. It's looking like the chain's gonna have to come off. Let's see. That's gonna be the best bet. Just take this chain off and walk it over to the side. Let's see if we can do that real quick. Actually, what I want to do is walk the rear. Maybe have some more slack up on top. Walk this off a little bit. course, you gotta make sure your Banshee is in neutral, right? Alright, Banshee's in neutral. Walk the chain off. See if that helps me. What a pain in the butt this is gonna be. I'm trying to see if I can get. That might just be the extra slack that I need there, as you can see. Let's see how this works now. Talk about a how-to, huh? You get to see the implications that come with it, you know what I mean? This is the first time doing it, using one of these on here. I've installed them before where you got to take the swing arm off. And that was a little more straightforward. Basically, you just take everything apart. This one just seems like you got to play around with it a little bit. There we go. All right. So as you can see, I walk the chain off, give myself a little more slack, and I've got myself lined up here. I'm gonna open the chain slider because I want to open up the minimum as possible. Okay, and then we're going to pull forward. You can see we're going to pull forward. We're going to walk it over the okay, you can see I'm hanging up there a little bit right here. There we go. Whew. That was kind of a pain in the butt. Like I said, this is the first time I've done this before using, this brand. And the ones I've done in the past were the old school ones where you got to take the bolt off and the swing arm off and go through all that trouble. So you can see it was a little effort. I'm hoping that helped you out. You saw how we had we've got all the slack out of the chain. The carrier's pulled forward. The adjusters are loosened, but I needed that little extra because the chain was actually in the way. So what I did was I walked it off the sprocket in the rear a little bit, and there you have it. That's the new main chain slider. And I was tempted to add a little lubricant back here, some Molly, but these are supposed to be self-lubricating, and I was just worried about, if I put the Molly or any type of grease back there and the dirt gets in there, it's going to create an abrasive because the dirt's going to stick to the grease. And although the grease will lubricate, but I think after a while it's just going to dry out and it's not going to flow as it should. But there you have it. It's installed. Wipe my hands, and I really think by heating it up, or if you leave it out in the sun for a little bit, don't let it get too hot. Figure about 100 degrees should be good enough. It makes the plastic a little softer. If you're in a cold region like me, where it's cold outside, well, by heating it up, it's going to help out a lot. But it's in place now, as you can see. There it is. See, it's right where it's supposed to be. Now, underneath there, you can see. Can you see that hole right there? There's a bolt that goes right in there. So let's go ahead and let me show you what's going with this bolt. There you go. Can you see it? There you go. All right. So this is the bolt that it came with. Socket head cap screw. I'm actually using a metric. Yeah, that's right. All right. I can do this. Build one-handed. All right. Trying to give you guys a better angle. There you go. I'm going to switch the camera on this side. Give you a better angle. There you go. You can see what's going on. And I'm just using a T-handle. Now, if it's pulling away, you've got to get it lined up just right, because otherwise it'll start pulling away. Trying to get that light just shined in right where it's supposed to be, so I can see what's going on here. I see what's going on. So it's not perfectly lined up. So we're going to back the bolt out. I wish I had my camera guy here with me. Jeez. Well, you're on a journey with me. There's no doubt about that. We're doing this together. All right, looks like we got it going. Okay, so the problem was I just wasn't lined up right. I was trying to do this one-handed, and but there it is. So now when you tighten this up, you don't want to go crazy, go all gorilla and nuts on this. You just want to tighten up snug. When you see it close the gap, you'll feel the pressure. You'll feel it, see it? See, it's drawing the bridge up. It's closing the door. And you're going to feel it, you know, kind of just bind up, and then that's it. Done. Right about right there. Right there, see? Not too tight, don't go crazy. All right? Because if it's too tight, then this isn't going to flow right. Okay, it's not going to go up and down. It's going to go up and not come down. So it doesn't have to be crazy tight. So there you have it. The chain slider's in place. Then you can put your chain on. You can adjust your slack. Tighten up your bolt to the specified torque specs. And then go for a nice ride. As long as your other bogie wheels or your chain roller wheels are good, you don't have to change those. Now this top bolt's 85 foot-pounds, and this bottom bolt is 43 foot-pounds of torque down here at the bottom. Okay? And these little guys are just good and tight. Once you adjust your slack, just kind of snug them and, you know, check them from time to time, throw some Loctite on there, you're good to go. So, sorry about all this shaky camera action, but I'll tell you what, I mean, you were there with me. We got to do it together, and that's the first time I've done it that way. I've always had to pull off the swing arm on my other stuff. And on my street bike powered Banshee, I'm running an amp link, so a little out of practice with that one, but that's how I did mine. So hopefully the tips and tricks helps you out. It's pretty straightforward. Make sure you get the slider that's got the cutout on there, so that makes it easier for you. Unless you want to redo all the bushings and the you know, all the work and the maintenance that's got to be done to your pivot bolt and your swing arm pivot bolt and stuff like that. All right, Banshee Fury 750 out.